Hi, welcome. In my earlier videos, I tested smaller consumer GPUs like the 3090 and 5060 Ti. Today, I am stepping up to an enterprise class RTX 6000 with 96 GB of VRAM, and I am answering a practical AI factory question. Should you run it at full power or power limited for efficiency and rack density? I'm going to compare 600 watts with 300 watts using the same vLLM serve benchmark and correlating the results with Nvidia-smi telemetry. Same benchmark pattern at both power settings 4, 8, 10 up to 60 requests per second and 200 prompts per run. Fixed input and output sizes. I also logged GPU power, temperature, utilization and VRAM with Nvidia-smi once per second. So we can correlate performance with what the GPU was actually doing. I got the benchmarks. First, let's look at the raw throughput. At low offered load, say 4, 8 or 10 requests per second, both the configurations look similar because the GPU isn't fully saturated. You can see that clearly in this visual where at the starting both the blue and orange lines corresponding to 600 watts and 300 watts GPU setting are tracking the same output tokens per second. But once we push the concurrency, 600 watts keeps scaling, it reaches around 3700 tokens per second even at 40 RPS and over 4.1 kilo output tokens at 60 RPS. The 300 watts though, it cap hits a ceiling earlier, topping out around 2.7K to 2.8K tokens per second. Now, the part that matters for a real service, tail latency. Throughput plateaus are normal. What determines usability is time to first token, TTFT, under load. At 600 watts, the P99 TTFT stays reasonable up to 40 RPS. And then you see the queuing wall at 60 RPS. At 300 watt setting, the queuing wall shows up much earlier. The P99 TTFT explodes even at 40 requests per second and it increases at 60 RPS. That means the GPU isn't failing, it started applying back pressure much earlier. And thus, the user experience becomes non-interactive if you optimize it for lower power mode. Let's correlate that with the GPU telemetry. Even in 600 watts mode, average power draw during the higher load runs is roughly 400 to 425 watts, not a continuous 600 watts. In 300 watts setting, average power draw sits around 240 to 266 watts. So the power cap materially changes the operating point, the clocks, the power, and ultimately the throughput ceiling. Now efficiency, tokens per watt. Power limiting generally improves performance per watt, especially once you are in sustained serving. But efficiency alone isn't the goal here. You have to balance it against capacity, tail latency, and the user experience. Here is the simple operational takeaway. If we define interactive safe as P99 time to first token under 100 milliseconds, then 600 watts mode is safe up to 40 RPS and gives about 3.k tokens per second, 3700 tokens per second. 300 watts mode is safe up to 20 RPS and gives about 2300 tokens per second. So 300 watt setting on an RTX 6000 Blackwell Workstation Edition is absolutely viable, but you should run it at a lower load if you care about interactive UX. I have not tested here, but if power consumption is a major factor, you can also try the Max-Q Workstation Edition, which has 300 watts peak power draw, but still may offer a slightly better performance compared to the one that I tested, which is Workstation Edition with 600 watts peak power draw. Now, let's translate the RTX 6000 Blackwell Edition power limit results into a simple unit metric. Electricity cost per million output tokens, including the PUE, but not including other factors of cooling, etc. etc. We'll just do a simple calculation for demonstration purposes. I'm using two inputs from my logs, the measured average GPU power draw from Nvidia-smi during the high load runs and the sustained output token throughput from the vLLM benchmarks. Then I apply the same electricity rate and PUE scenarios I used earlier for the 3090 and 5060 GPUs. First, RTX 6000 at the 600 watts power limit. Even though the limit is 600 watts, the measured average draw during heavy serving is about 410 watts and it sustains about 3.9k tokens per second. Now, the power limited to 300 watts setting measured average draw of about 254 watts and that throughput drops to about 2.8k tokens per second. So the trade-off is clear. The 300 watts cap usually improves efficiency, but you give up on the capacity. And when we compare across GPUs, you can clearly see that why AI factory planning needs both the lenses, capacity for concurrency and UX and efficiency. Power limits can be a great tool, but only if your workload and concurrency targets fit under that lower throughput ceiling. Different GPUs or different GPU settings, power throttling, power limits may all work, but they create different user experiences. Therefore, right AI factory design should match the workloads, the user expectations, the power and thermal capacity that you have with the right AI factory design. Once multiple users and workloads share these GPUs, hardware alone isn't enough. You need an operational layer, policy, quotas, and metering so the system stays predictable and economics are measurable. Next, we will connect these benchmark behaviors to AI factory operations, admission control, scheduling policies, and usage-based metering and billing. How this translates into GPU as a service in a data center setting. If you want me to test different context lengths, different models, or different batch settings, send me a note with this scenario. Thanks again.